If you didn't know already, I am a huge How to Train Your Dragon fan. I mean, I've got Hiccup's map on the wall, and I've got a Mystery Class emblem as my necklace. Big up the Flightmare. Yes, How to Train Your Dragon 1 is my favourite movie of all time, and Race to the Edge is also my favourite show of all time. Argue with your nan, it is literally the best thing ever. And I know it's been about like 44 years since the live action trailer dropped, but I've been just busy. I know there was also a special look as well. I've also seen that. But I just wanted to do a video on all my thoughts because, I mean, there's a lot to go through. But anyway, in this video, I will just go through everything that we've seen, stuff that we haven't seen as well, and just all the controversy that just doesn't need to happen at all. Just, yeah. I'll start with what we have seen, though, and immediately from looking just at the trailer, it's all pretty much shots that we have seen. I don't think there actually is one shot from the trailer that we haven't seen in the entirety of the first movie. It is quite concerning to me because I personally would love there to be more stuff added. I know Dean Dubois has already come out and said like, oh, it's not just going to be a shot-for-shot remake and they wanted to expand the lore, but I don't know how much of that is actually going to be added. Someone did actually come out and say that they've leaked. Oh, hold on, let me go up here. Yeah, someone said that they've Lion Kinged it, basically just meaning that they've shot-for-shot remade it, but Toothless looks good. That was before the trailer got leaked, got dropped officially, and Toothless does look pretty good. And like I said, it is all just stuff from the trailer, so I don't actually know who to believe here. I want to believe Dean, but I don't know because the leak that came out is true. Even if they don't add in a lot, I just want to see some dragons from the series in it. I know I saw a rumble horn actually. Someone pointed out a rumble horn when all the dragons are flying away from the nest. I mean, that's cool, but I want to see like, I just want to see like, even if it's like an armor wing or a bone napper. Obviously the Flightmare's not going to come in. I can only hope. I just want to see just more the series dragons to be in this live action. Just as long as it's not a Cavern Crusher. That thing so. The dragons do look really good, to be fair, from the trailer. Like, all the CGI does look pretty good. But I honestly doubt from now on they'd actually show anything new in the trailers. I think they're going to keep that for the actual screenings of the film. I don't think they're actually going to incorporate anything new into the trailers, because I think they're going to want to go down this, oh, you've seen this before, but it's at higher stakes, it's live action. That's all they think it's going to take for people to get into the cinema. And obviously, it's worked on me already. I've mentally pre-booked. You know, that day, at best, you're getting a get well soon card. I am there. If I die, I would just simply revive myself. It is that simple. Just grow up if you can't do that. So yeah, I think obviously it's going to work on the people who you already have an audience for. But I mean, if people have already watched How to Train Your Dragon, but it's not like their favorite film ever, they're not going to want to go see it, if that makes sense, which is why I thought it was quite concerning in the trailer that they haven't dropped anything, because I would have thought they would have incorporated something new, even if it was like a discreet 2-second shot that we haven't seen before. Like, we've seen the arena, we've seen Stoick's house in the inside, we've seen the landscaper, but we've seen all this stuff already. Why not just show us, like, even if it was like a new dragon, for example, that would be really cool. And I think it's a complete missed opportunity to do that. But anyway, the shots that we did see in the trailer looked unreal. Like, the cinematography, the CGI, like the set design, everything, costumes, they looked really, really good. When I first watched it, it was actually leaked. So I watched on Twitter, there was a video somewhere, but I watched on Twitter and it was like really low quality, and I saw GERRAD BUTLER and I was like, I don't know if they've done Stoick right. When the trailer actually got dropped, I watched it a couple more times, and it is very much grown on me. I don't know what I was thinking, whether it was the quality or I was just like taken aback by everything and thinking it was going to look like, obviously in the originals, Stoick's beard is about 79% of his body, right? His beard is bigger than me, whereas in the live action, it's not like that. It's a bit shorter, but again, I don't know why I was thinking like it's going to look the exact same. But yeah, another noticeable point for me when watching the trailer was actually when I'm talking about the landscape for me reminded where Hiccup was pondering over. I'm assuming it's going to be him where he's thinking about Toothless or whatever looking out. I actually think those sorts of edges of Berk remind me a lot of Luke Skywalker's island in episode 8 of Star Wars, like where he's just chilling on the island, don't want anyone to come near. I'm pretty sure they shot this movie in Northern Ireland. I'm pretty sure they shot episode 8 in Ireland. I think I might be wrong, but it was something like that. So they might have done it in like quite similar. I'm gonna stay out of Irish politics, but they're quite similar places. Mason Taylor's voice is very good Hiccup voice. Like, I remember when I first watched it, even when it was leaked, I was smiling at his voice. I thought it was a very like accurate representation of what Hiccup would be live action to me in terms of his voice. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the symmetrical wide shots, like in the arena, for example. That was really cool. Sound design is beautiful. The backing track as well, obviously the soundtrack is gonna be amazing. Title card is really good. Again, what I thought about it when I think of live action. Overall, it is a very good first teaser. Onto the behind the scenes look. I'm gonna skip over obviously the controversy for now, and I'm going to focus on everything else that we saw first. And it seemed like this live action was going to happen anyway, given what Dean said in an interview one time. I remember him saying that live actions are actually cash grabs, soulless cash grabs, or something like that. I can't remember. There was a quote of him saying it somewhere. So it looked like this was going to happen anyway, because I don't think he'd be on it otherwise. So I'm glad that they got him, because I think he he did say that they came to him about it. I mean, it was probably a no-brainer for him because either his legacy's ruined with this movie that could potentially just go up in flames, or he comes on it and at least guides it to safely. Whether it's going to land or not, I have actually no idea. And I'm not blaming him for taking it, because I would too. Like, realistically, you're going to get a bag full of money. There's already an audience. This is why live actions do so well. There's already an audience for it. And then anyone else, the stakes are heightened because of live action. I know Dean's already said this. But literally, if you gave me the choice of a live action How to Train Your Dragon movie and literally anything else, barring Nine Realms and How to Train Your Dragon 4, if you gave me just a series, a prequel movie, a series between 2 and 3, there's just literally something. If you gave me the choice of any, I would have just taken it, barring those two. And anything with the Cabin Crasher. That's insane. But again, the special look didn't really show us anything new. It just showed us bits that we haven't seen in the trailer. So like Stoick saving Hiccup from drowning underwater. Some more shots of Hiccup on the hill pondering life with Astrid this time. It did show us like the first looks of Astrid, first looks of the Dragon Riders, which we'll get into. A few shots of the arena. Yeah, it's normal business really. But something that I actually found really cute was the two main characters, obviously Hiccup and Astrid, finding out that they are playing Hiccup and Astrid. And I thought, especially Mason Thames' reaction, yeah, I mean, I would be, I'm smiling even thinking about it. I would be so excited if I was Hiccup, so you can tell they're genuinely passionate about the role. And then speaking of castings, oh my god, everyone has lost their minds over race, weight, peg legs, literally anything that you can think of. Everyone has just lost their minds over. Just starting out now, I could not care less about any of this, right? The main thing that would put me off, if anything, would be the age of the characters. You're telling me these lot are 15 in the movie. They look like they've just gone through 4 divorces, remarried again, wife died, King Henry VIII type beat, and then got divorced with the dead wife. They've gone through so much. There's no way they're 50. But disregarding that, I'll go through the less controversial characters first. Obviously, you got GERRAD, BUTLER as Stoick. There's literally nothing to be said there. No one else is going to play Stoick realistically. He is the perfect fit. Cool. You've then got Nick Frost as Gobber. Now, we didn't see Gobber at all, which I thought was quite weird because he was like the only visible character that we didn't really see that has a huge role in the originals, which I didn't really like. I wanted to see him, to be honest. But I do think it's a good casting. Dean Dubois has come out and said actually that there's like a huge change to Gobber. All he's done is just move his peg leg to the other leg because of Nick Frost's bad leg, and he was framing it. I don't know if it was the media, to be fair, or I say media, I mean like Instagram account, or him actually saying it was massive changes, etc, etc. If it was him, I'm very worried for what little changes there are, because little changes might be a speck of dust that I've just not noticed in the 15 years the movie's been out. Either way, I think it's a good fit. Then you've got Gabriel Howell as Snotlout. There's not really much to be said with that. I mean, I thought that he looked quite goofy in the special look, and it reminded me actually a lot of how he looked in the books, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, then we got Harry Travoldwim, again, fairly tame. He's playing Tough Nut, it's fairly tame. I think he looks pretty good. Again, looks about 45. He does look a lot older than 15. And then obviously I've already mentioned Mason Thames being Hiccup. Very good, I'm not gonna lie. Now we've got the other 3 main castings, and oh my god, the amount of abuse that these lot must have had would have been unfathomable. Right, okay, it would have been bad. First, you got Fish Legs, played by Julian Dennison, a Maori man. And like I said before, I do not care about these castings. Like, if you want to change their race, I'm not that bothered, because it's a movie about dragons and Viking. Like, it's really not that deep. But anyway, a Maori man playing a Viking, I'm sure he has received abuse, and unrightfully so, for just being a character. And this is my problem with this sort of stuff, is you have people who are chiming in, pretending to be fans. We both know you haven't even watched the 3rd movie or the 2nd movie. You've just watched half of the 1st movie. You've seen Hiccup, you've seen him ride the Night Fury, and then you've dipped. You've not even thought about How to Train Your Dragon in the last 10 years. So don't come on Twitter being like, oh, I'm protecting the fandom. You're not allowed to be this because this is a representation of Vikings. Shut up. We do not care, buddy. And I'm not even going to lie to you. I think this is actually a pretty decent casting. I know people just don't, I'm pretty sure people just don't like him just because of his performance in Deadpool 2. But I'm really not that bothered. If he does a good performance in this, I'm going to praise him really highly. If he doesn't, I'm going to be really annoyed. That is literally the end of what you have to say in terms of criticism of acting. Not about race, not about weight, not about hair colour. Next we got Rough Nut, played by Bronwyn James. I have all just got the casting up here, by the way. I was quite perplexed at this one, actually, to be fair, when it first got released, because I was a bit like, well, the twins aren't twins, and that is something that is their character traits and personalities. Like, much less so in the series, because obviously you got time to develop them, but in the movies themselves, I find all the side characters really annoying, bar maybe Astrid in the movies themselves. That's their personality trait, especially in the third one. The first movie and the third movie, they are literally inseparable in terms of their personalities. If their whole personalities are based on being twins, and then you go and make them obviously not look like twins, how are you going to propose that? But when I saw Dean actually respond to someone on Twitter about it, I think he said something about how there's a joke in the movie that they think they're identical, and everyone else obviously knows, in the film anyway, everyone else obviously knows that they're not, and I think that's part of the joke, which I'm not bothered about, actually. I think that's quite a good change, and it does sound like something the twins would actually do and actually think. So I'm actually quite welcoming of that. After he explained it, call me that friend that's too woke, I'm back on board. And then last but not least, we have Astrid. I don't even know where to start this. I have a script. Nico Parker playing Astrid sent the whole of incel Twitter into an absolute frenzy, which is weird, because when I look at the cast, I'm not really put off by her at all. I think generally she actually looks the youngest out of them, and she looks a little bit like Astrid. I'm not going to say like obviously she looks exactly like her, but she's this version's Astrid, as Dean said. These people are just, again, they're not real fans. Real fans will be there no matter what. We do not care. You know, even if you had a different person in your mind about who you should play Astrid, right? Obviously, you're going to have deceptions of Astrid in your head, and she's going to be blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever. But if you're then going and attacking Nico Parker for being Astrid, yeah, you're just such a loser, and I think you should get a job. But anyway, there's a person here that I want to show you, because this is like the pinnacle of what I'm talking about.
What the fuck? And before you start with me, yeah, it has to do with her race. Because this is a story about Vikings.
Yeah, and dragons, by the way. Mythical creatures. If you wanted an authentic Viking experience, you probably should have complained maybe whenever the first movie came out, because that's obviously not going to be a Viking experience, like an authentic one. For one, they didn't wear horned helmets. Not real Viking experience. And to go back to my original point, they wouldn't be fighting dragons, right? So, but I'm looking at her videos now, actually. And no, there's no complaining about those movies. But someone not being, you know, full blonde hair, blue-eyed, Aryan, that's the thing that annoys you. I'm pretty sure there was someone in 1940s Germany who had similar ideology to you.
Look at the real Astrid.
Right, again, quite obvious. None of these are real. But you're pointing to the one that's not even played by a white actor. She's actually, like, mixed, I'm pretty sure, Honduran. So you're actually probably best pointing at the other Astrid, because live action, as in live, as in alive, as in real. So she's probably more real than the cartoon version, but you won't accept that because of her skin color.
You know, people love to throw out the term whitewashed a lot, but I would really love to discuss what kind of color washing is happening to every live action movie that comes out now.
And I don't know if you've been around long enough on this earth to actually understand that films are trying to promote equal opportunities, and they're trying to promote inclusion to people of color, right? As opposed to constant white characters who dominate the majority of Hollywood anyway. Also, they're just trying to unlock new audiences for this. I mean, they want people of color to look up to other people of color who are playing their favorite characters. I don't understand what's so hard to understand, because you have a white version in the animation, right? That's fine, perfectly fine. And then, as Dean Dubois said, you have this version's Astrid, which is just different. And it's a win-win anyway, because you're promoting inclusion. And if new audiences are watching it, then it'll end up benefiting the studio economically. And then hopefully for us anyway, there's more How to Train Your Dragon projects that are going to come along. There's literally like 3 wins there. Do I think they should make more original POC characters? Probably. They should. But there's like a massive audience already for sequels, for unoriginal stories, and for live actions, especially at the minute, where studios are just going, well, what's the point? You know, what's the point of making an original story? I'm not going to sit here and obviously say there aren't original POC characters, because there definitely are. But these people are still going to get abused too. I saw someone tweet, actually, about Daniela Brooks playing in the Minecraft movie, and it was literally just a still frame of her. Daniela Brooks, a black woman, she just got abused. She had done nothing. That is an original character right there. Do you not want just black people to act in general now? I don't understand. So you can't win no matter what.
Didn't need it. Definitely didn't need it. Still don't want it.
That is a green woman, by the way. Just say that you don't want black people to act. Like,
and here you guys are basically making the Lion King live action with How to Train Your Dragon.
2 seconds later.
What is so hard about staying true to the original stories? Do we have to keep reinventing them?
Right, so you condescendingly mentioned about Lion King in another film with How to Train Your Dragon. Lion King, obviously a film that everyone associates with just the live action anyway, with just shot-for-shot remaking. And then 2 sentences later you go, why can't we just stick to the original? Which one is it then? Do you want to Lion King it and stick to the original, or, you know, are you going to condescend it? I actually have no idea. This is the thing. This is people's consistencies, right? Don't even know what they're saying from sentence to sentence. There is no thought behind that head whatsoever. Like, they'll see a POC character play a white character and they'll think the world has absolutely lost its marbles. But then you see Johnny Depp play a Native American character. No, we'll turn into Bird Box.
Because here is the new Astrid saying I could never do America Ferrera's interpretation of Astrid because I am not her. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be her.
Like, why are you manipulating what she said? Like, she actually said it like that. She did not mean ill intention whatsoever, and I can see that. But she's clearly paying respect to America's character interpretation of Astrid. Like, she isn't saying that I'm gonna be better than you or anything. She's just saying she's gonna be different because she's not her. And that is, and rightfully so. You can't pretend to be someone who you're not. So I don't understand why you think that she was like, oh no, I'm not going to be her, I'm going to be better. When did she say that? Please. Like, Astrid's race has never mattered once. It has never been mentioned. It has never been part of a trait, personality, anything. So her race is interchangeable with anyone.
Honestly, I think we're at the point where we can start calling this cultural appropriation.
Cool. Right, let me just use this. Let's just keep up with those consistencies, right? So your videos about Robert Downey Jr., Johnny Depp, anyone from The Last Airbender, Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm looking at the videos now. You don't have them. You don't have them talking about how they play POC characters. I didn't think you would. I just had to make sure anyway. But a mixed race girl plays a Viking in a live action adaptation of an animation. That is disgusting. Any white person ever to play a POC character, I sleep.
You know, I was willing to let go of the mermaid thing and the blue fairy thing and all these things because those are just mythological made-up things. But now you're just distorting history so that you can effectively pander.
Watching How to Train Your Dragon as well, by the way, for the cultural authenticity. It's like going to Wagamama's and then complaining that it's not authentic. And also, when you say distorting history to pander, I'd love to know what the history of Burke is. In fact, I'll give you an easier question, right? Are there just white people in this franchise already? 3, 2, 1. No, there aren't. Mr. Racismo, there are already 2 black people in this franchise. Meet Krogan, a black man. And I've seen so many people react to this video already anyway. And not one person has mentioned Drago yet. Like, there's already there's 2 black people, right? I don't really expect everyone to know Krogan because he's from the show, but Drago, right, tell me that guy's white. But there is nothing about him, right? Because this anti-woke trend only started in like 2020.
I hear a lot of people complain that we don't talk about black history enough. Well, yeah, maybe it's because y'all are busy stealing everyone else's history.
The video is finished and thank God, but that is the worst thing that she said all video. Like, how uneducated do you actually have to be to seriously think that black people, the people who were stolen from their ancestral land and therefore stolen of their history, you're going to be there like, oh, you know, those are the people that are stealing history. All because you can't deal with someone who I'm pretty sure has Scandinavian blood as well. I don't think anyone else in the cast has Scandinavian blood. It's not authentic. I can slightly see why people get frustrated with the amount of race swapping at the minute. But that's coming from a place of they should make new original characters that are POC rather than just swapping race, right? But at the minute, like I said, live action, they're just guaranteed a pool of money at the end of it. So no matter what you do, they're still probably going to get made. And I'm not saying you can't criticize the actors or the actresses for their performances, or if you thought that someone else should have played that character, that's fine. But you've got that character now. You've got that person playing that character. You have to accept that. And you can't just then abuse them for just what they look like, because that's just complete ignorancy. Like, I know obviously sometimes you have to respect opinions and, you know, it might be different to yours, and that's fine. But in this instance, this opinion is just objectively wrong. The movie is obviously meant for kids, right? Me excluded, I'm 20, I'm like basically 39. But at its core, the film is meant for kids, right? And kids of all audiences will be watching this movie. And even if one of them is inspired by Nico Parker's performance, then the movie's done its job in terms of inclusion and telling kids that you can be whoever you want to be, which is a good message to have. Again, for a kids film. Real quick as well, I've just seen on the other side of things, people trying to justify her role by basically saying like, oh, she's only 25% black. You know, she's still 75% white. She's basically white. Let's not do that, guys. Let's chill, buddy. Okay? Because that is, again, just reinforcing the stereotype of mixed race people being too white for black people and too black for white people. But yeah, you get it. So anyway, congrats to that thing for winning Hoane's Worst Video of the Year awards. After that, I just want to say I'm very much looking forward to this movie. If there's enough content to make another video about, I might. But yeah, I don't know yet. Yeah, you couldn't pay me to miss this film, so I will be there no matter what. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe.